It's good to know. Don't be ignorant and make a judgment because you read on social media or somebody told you about it. Make your own individual research.
Allegations of widespread fraud in Minnesota having ripple effects in Somali communities across the country, including here in Oregon. Tonight at 6, Oregon's Somali community reacting to the backlash as DHS and the FBI surge federal officers to Minnesota following allegations of fraud by daycares run by Somali residents. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Barry Mangold.
And I'm Deborah Knapp. This is a developing story we've been following for weeks. Minnesota has been under the spotlight for years for Medicaid fraud. One of the biggest fraud cases dates to the pandemic when a nonprofit called Feeding Our Future allegedly stole nearly $300 million intended to provide food for children. Further investigations uncovered additional alleged schemes. The acting U.S. attorney for Minnesota estimates the total loss from all fraud cases could be more than $1 billion. Many of those charged in the multiple schemes, 82 of the 92 defendants, are Somali Americans.
And the issue came back into the spotlight during President Trump's immigration crackdown, and administration officials launched an investigation into whether some of the allegedly stolen funds were diverted to the terrorist organization Al-Shabaab. This week, federal officials started investigating fresh fraud allegations at Minnesota daycare centers. Meanwhile, members of the American Somali community say the fraud has damaged the community's reputation and say the entire community should not be blamed for the actions of a few. Tonight, we are hearing from Oregon's Somali community about the impacts here at home.
KT's Christina Giardinelli joins us from the live desk after talking to community leaders about this. What have you learned, Christina?
Well, the president of the Somali American Council of Oregon says they've seen a spike in hateful comments online, some people even posting pictures of their offices on social media. I'm hearing that the council has been working with Portland police to monitor the area. Federal officers surging immigration crackdowns in Minnesota following new allegations of fraud against Somali-owned businesses. Museolo, president of the American Somali Council of Oregon, says the backlash is sparking fear in Oregon as well.
You know, there's a sense of fears and sense of worrisome, both the safety-wise, even people worry about people even have a citizen status. Are they going to be harassed?
He's noticed an increase in hateful messages online, including some targeting his nonprofit.
There's kind of like a very hostile words used. And those some people in the social media, actually, one of them that was posted by a certain local group here, vilifying and even putting up pictures of our offices and doing some kind of generalization that one black paintbrush type of stuff.
Olol tells me he's grateful to have support from the Portland Police Bureau.
But also I want to give credit to the Portland Police Bureau who have done more rounds and even park here to kind of give us extra security.
The Portland Police Bureau tells me the Somali American Council of Oregon is part of the Muslim Advisory Committee and works closely to increase engagement with the city and police bureau. Olol urges Oregonians not to base their opinion of an entire community on the actions of a few.
Going out there to make a life and raise a family and be part of this member of the society, and to generalize the whole group because one person's action or few people's action is wrong to any society, any groups in this part of the world.
Now, Olol invites anyone who is curious about the work that his nonprofit does to reach out and ask questions. At the live desk, Christina Giardinelli, KT News.
All right, Christina, thank you. And the head of the FBI now expanding the investigation that uncovered fraud in Minnesota to other states as well. We asked the FBI in Seattle if it's investigating similar fraud allegations at daycare centers in Washington state. Washington is home to one of the larger Somali American populations in the country, with local Somali leaders estimating the number at 20,000. The FBI says it does not confirm or deny any specific investigations in Washington state as a matter of agency policy. Governor Bob Ferguson says he is not aware of any fraud allegations at daycare centers in Washington state.
I'm not aware of anything like that. I think we can all agree that if someone is violating the law in Minnesota or any state, he needs to be held accountable.
The Somali community in Seattle has reported that it has also received backlash. Governor Ferguson met with state and local leaders, including Somali community representatives yesterday, to discuss their concerns.
Well, tonight, Minnesota officials and daycare centers they're pushing back against fraud allegations. The spotlight focused on those daycare centers after a self-proclaimed independent journalist posted a video of himself visiting multiple daycare centers. He claims they got public funds despite appearing to not have any children present when he visited. The video went viral. The manager of one of those centers is calling the video dishonest and says there weren't any children there at the time because they weren't open yet.
We're open Mondays through Thursdays, 2 to 10 p.m. He was here earlier. I don't see him right now. We're open. We've been open. We haven't closed. We've been open for eight and a half years now. We haven't closed once during that period.
During a news conference yesterday, the commissioner of Minnesota's Department of Children, Youth and Families says each of the centers named in the video has been inspected in the last 6 months. They did not find any fraud and said there were children there at the time. She said the department is taking the matter seriously and they will be looking into each center again to address the concerns in the video.
And brand new this evening, the Trump administration says it is freezing all federal child care payments to Minnesota. Deputy Secretary of Health and Human Services Jim O'Neill announced the move on X. He said administration for children and families payments will now require justification, receipts, and photo evidence before any money is sent to any state. He's also demanding that Minnesota Governor Tim Walz launch a comprehensive audit of the daycare centers. The department announced a fraud reporting hotline as well. Walz has previously said that fraud will not be tolerated and that an audit could be expected by late January.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, as we mentioned, announced in September he will run for a third term. But now amid the fraud investigations, there are 5 Republican lawmakers in Minnesota calling on the governor to resign. In a joint statement, the lawmakers said in part, "This is not about politics or stunts, and we do not make a call like this lightly. The office of the governor deserves respect, and we have tried to give Governor Walz time to act. But leadership means doing the right thing even when it's difficult, which is why we are calling on Governor Walz to resign."
And Governor Walz for months has insisted that he has been cracking down on the fraud. His office releasing a statement about this saying in part, quote, he has strengthened oversight, including launching investigations into these specific facilities, one of which was already closed. He has hired an outside firm to audit payments to high-risk programs, shut down the Housing Stabilization Services program entirely, announced a new statewide program integrity director, and supported criminal prosecutions. This is, of course, a developing situation. Stick with K2 News for continuing coverage as we work to investigate any alleged fraud here in Oregon, as well as what's unfolding in Minnesota.